West Wycombe Caves. I'm Sir Francis Dashwood, and I'm going to tell you a very curious story. In the 1750s, there was serious unemployment in the countryside as a result of 3 successive harvest failures. So one of my predecessors, another Sir Francis Dashwood, decided to build a new main road between West Wycombe and High Wycombe.
My sole reason for making the road is the welfare of the villagers. I am determined that they shall have employment.
Chalk for the road was dug out of the caves. About 100 men were employed at £1 a day. Several years later, the caves were said to have been used for meetings of a very strange club, the Hellfire Club. Its regular meeting place was at Medmenham Abbey on the Thames, about 8 miles away. The real name of the club was the Brotherhood of St. Francis of Wycombe, but they weren't at all saintly, although the membership did include a Chancellor of the Exchequer, the First Lord of the Admiralty, several members of Parliament and other prominent men. Ladies were also admitted. They wore masks and a badge with the words "Love and Friendship." Paul Whitehead was a minor poet and steward of the Hellfire Club. His job was to keep a record of the wine and drink consumed at Medmenham Abbey by the brothers. Whitehead died in 1774, leaving this rather odd bequest.
I bequeath to Sir Francis Dashwood my heart, together with £50, to be laid out in the purchase of a marble urn, in which I desire it may be deposited and placed in some corner of his mausoleum, as a memorial of its warm attachment to the noble founder.
On August 13th, 1775, Whitehead's wishes were duly fulfilled. Sir Francis led a large procession up the hill, followed by a company of the Bucks militia, a choir, and a band with fifes, flutes, horns, and a muffled drum. The urn was carried on a litter by 6 grenadiers. The procession went 3 times round the inside of the mausoleum to the music of Saul's funeral march. The urn, which you see here, was then placed in the niche, whereupon the soldiers fired a triple salute. Accompanied by repeated salvos from the cannons on the frigate on the lake. For years afterwards, Whitehead's ghost was seen flitting about the place. It's certainly rather creepy down here, isn't it? Well, well, well. Fancy running into Sir Francis and that great American friend of his, Benjamin Franklin. Franklin often stayed at West Wycombe and visited the caves in 1772. He wrote afterwards to a friend, Mr. Dacor, in Philadelphia.
The exquisite sense of classical design, charmingly reproduced by Sir Francis Dashwood at West Wycombe, whimsical and puzzling as it sometimes may be in its imagery, is as much evident below the earth as it is above it. I must admit, you have some exceeding odd ideas, Francis. Fancy putting the golden ball on top of the church. John Wilkes tells me that it is the best globe tavern ever.
Not at all, my dear doctor. You should see the splendid buildings in Venice with their golden domes, and there are few cities to equal St. Petersburg, which has the best golden onions I have ever seen. The Kremlin in Moscow is full of them, too. I wanted the church to present a great prospect, not the gloomy old ruin it used to be. You must climb into my golden ball and see the view. On a fine day you can see as far as Camberley, where John Norris has built a similar tower with a golden ball. We've exchanged signals from our golden balls using mirrors to deflect the rays of the sun.
What a capital notion! I have heard of heliographic lighting in the tunnels of the pyramids, but not of overland signaling. You certainly have some novel ideas.
You can still climb up the tower when it is open and see the magnificent view, but the golden ball, which seats 6 people, has had to be closed because of damage by vandals.